deep in one of the most inhospitable, unexplored regions of the planet, the Mongolian Gobi Desert, a monstrous animal is said to exist. The nomads who live here fear its destructive superpowers. The animal actually exploded. Is spits blood. That blue sort of static charge goes from the death worm and then they die. My name is Pat Spain. By day, I work in an ultra-advanced biotech facility. But in my family, there's a tradition of investigating creatures as yet unknown to science. Something moving, something moving. I'm heading out into the wild to investigate the unexplained creatures of this world. I know it sounds unbelievable, but I'm here searching for the truth behind the legendary Mongolian death worm. Absolutely terrified. You might not believe it, but this is the start of my investigation into the Mongolian death worm. This is not going to end well. I know how important local knowledge can be, so I'm hoping that by taking part, I'll gain the trust of the locals. I'm fighting one of Mongolia's top wrestlers. Oh my god. Just in case you missed that, he just sweeps my legs right out from under me. Crushing defeat. Apparently when you lose, the very large Mongolian man kind of gives you a little pat on the bum. Could be worse. Could have been a lot worse. I think I need to find someone my own size. Very good, very good. It ends up with the inevitable slap on the butt. Thank you. Cashing in on my newfound celebrity status as the worst wrestler in Mongolia, my translator and I begin asking questions. Have you ever heard of the animal that they call the death worm? So he's saying that some people say that the animal lives out in the small sand dunes out around here. Have you heard anything about it? Is it dangerous? He said he's heard that the animal is very dangerous. Is it more dangerous than wrestling you? Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. I end the day with some really solid leads to follow up in my investigation. Thank you so much. Thank you. One thing's for sure. The locals definitely believe in this alleged creature's existence. Mongolia is roughly the size of Alaska, but with a population of just 3 million, most of whom live in the capital, Ulaanbaatar, it's the most sparsely populated country on Earth. Its sheer size and the fact that it's virtually unexplored makes it ripe for a weird and fantastical creature like the death worm to exist here. I'm on my way to meet my first lead, a nomad named Peru. Senbano. Senbano. There was the Russian military here. One of the local guys was serving as a guide for them. And as they were driving down the road, they spotted something on the side of the road, looked metal and kind of sausage-like. And they pulled over to see what it was. And the guide started warning them, no, don't touch it, that's a very dangerous animal. Stay away, it's a death worm. And the guides maybe didn't really understand his language too well, or maybe they just ignored him. But he said they pulled out some gasoline, dumped it on the animal, and then the animal actually exploded. This is a great first lead, but an exploding creature? Still, I need to keep an open mind. In the absence of evidence, eyewitness accounts are the lifeblood of my investigations. And my next contact, a nomad named Chimage, claims to have first-hand experience. I've heard that you saw the legendary creature that we call the death worm. So she said she was inside the gur, and a neighboring family ran out and said, hey, there's a death worm out here. It's very dangerous. Don't go near it, but, you should see it. So she went outside and stayed far away from it, but saw it at a distance, and immediately her family said, no, stay away, stay away. Could you describe the animal for me? How big was it? No, it's about that big and kind of this burnt reddish brown color. The head and the tail looked the same, and it was definitely one solid piece. Couldn't see any legs or arms or anything like that. But she didn't want to get up closer because everyone warned her how dangerous this animal was. I have a few pictures here of some animals that I'd like to show you and see if you recognize any of them. I need to find out if there are any similarities between the death worm and creatures I know of in the natural world. So when she saw the picture of the giant earthworm, she said it's very close to what she saw that day when she saw the death worm, but it's not the same. But she said it's very close because the head and the tail look the same, and kind of the way that the animal looks is just similar. And it's got those distinct ridges. Even though she saw it at a distance, she says it's much bigger than this worm, over 2 feet long. Could it be mistaken identity for a local snake, the sand boa? Right when she saw the sand boa, she goes, oh yeah, these are snakes, they live around here, I've seen them before. Man, I was really thinking that was a case of mistaken identity, but she recognized that sand boa right away. Also, whatever it is that she saw, freaked her and her family out enough to make them move away the next day. I now have a good idea of what this creature looks like, and how destructive it can be. But finding evidence of a red, 2-foot-long worm-like creature in such a vast, empty wilderness is gonna be tough. The Gobi Desert covers roughly 500,000 square miles, which is nearly twice the size of Texas. Temps out here drop to a frigid -40 degrees in winter, and a burning 122 degrees Fahrenheit in summer. Hardly conditions conducive to life. But could a creature like the death worm be surviving these extremes? I head to the Natural History Museum to meet up with one of Mongolia's most respected scientists. So Turbish, as a scientist, do you believe that the Mongolian death worm exists?
Ерөн судлаачид бол бодит баримтны дээр тулгуурлаж одоо итгэл
In general, the researchers believe something if there is a new species.
He said that the Gobi people talk about this animal, so maybe there is something to it. We just can't really be certain because these legends do exist, so potentially there is a creature out there. On the other hand, though, in order to identify a new species, you really need solid evidence of it. I mean, you need photographic, video evidence, hopefully even a specimen of it in order to show the world that there is this creature out there. And I agree with him 100%. As a scientist, it's just bad practice to identify a species based on legends. So, if you don't know if this is an animal out there, where do you think these stories come from?
янз бүрийн бодол байдаг юм. Тэрний жишээлбэл Монголын говьд бол тэмэн сүүл могоо гэдэг могоо бий л дээ.
The snake that Turbish is telling me about, the camel tail snake, also known as the sand boa, and he's saying that the head and tail look very similar. He thinks it's the snake I showed Chimage that they're seeing, not a deathworm. Turbish's opinion is in conflict with what Chimage believes. She recognized the sand boa and says she saw something else. Stories of the deathworm are coming from somewhere. The question is the deathworm a real animal or just a creature of myth? I head to the Gandan Monastery to find inspiration. Mongolia is a land steeped in mystery and tradition. Alongside Buddhism, there still exist beliefs in shamanism and nature worship. I can see that in such a culture, the line between the spiritual and natural worlds can often blur, leading to stories and beliefs in fantastical creatures, of strange deities and demigod-like figures, to help explain the seemingly unexplainable. Unlocking the secrets of the unexplainable is something of a family tradition. In the 1920s, my great-uncle Charles Fort, the prophet of the unexplained as he was known, was trying to discover the truth behind such bizarre phenomena as raining fish and ball lightning. It's his passions into all things unknown that drives me on to find the truth behind these legends today. At the same time as my great-uncle's investigations, one of the first Western scientists to explore the Gobi had just arrived in Mongolia. In researching the Mongolian deathworm, I came across this book by Roy Chapman Andrews, On the Trail of Ancient Man, where he gives a pretty good description of this alleged creature. He says that it's shaped like a sausage, about 2 feet long, has no head nor legs, and is so poisonous that merely to touch it means instant death. This guy is believed to be the inspiration for Indiana Jones, and he spends a lot of time in the field, so it's great that he mentions this creature.